Good morning, Maureen and Angelina and Jenny and everybody out there, and welcome once again to the My Tarot Morning Reflection, our daily inventory and chance to check in with the universe. So I hope everybody had a good day yesterday. It is. So here in Maryland, Jenny is correct because it is foggy, it is groggy, the mist is thick in the air around here. It's almost like a seacoast. But it's not in the teens, so I'm a happy camper. Oh, man. So this morning is funny. So I go through and I decide on which decks to use each morning. As you can imagine, it's like the intuition thing. But it's funny how some things creep in and just mess with our intuition. So somebody a while ago told me that they did not particularly like the Marseille Tarot. They thought it was actually quite ugly. And it's somebody that I care about. I mean, it's somebody who's close to me and all, you know. And that has always stuck in the back of my head. It's my favorite tarot. And I know it doesn't matter, but isn't it amazing that the things that we do decide to let just stick to our ribs, you know, that just seems to, you know, so in the morning when I come in, I actually think about that. It's like, do I need to use a pretty deck? And I know, and you have those things that you know, it doesn't matter. And yet, it's that part of us that thinks it matters. And it's because we care. And we do value other people's opinions. And sometimes we may not even like the person. And yet, we let those opinions make our decisions for us. So that's kind of what I was thinking about this morning is those opinions and those things that just kind of get stuck at the back of our heads. Because I talk about that voice. I talk about the high priestess, you know, that voice that we listen to. And sometimes it's like when we don't, we say, you know, we'll say things like, I knew I should have, or, you know, I knew that. But then again, we have that other voice that comes in and says, boy, that's an ugly looking deck. No, it's not. It's not. And nobody cares. And yet, those voices get carried forward. So, another thing about the tarot and another thing about meditation is the quieting of those negative voices. The repeating, you know, somebody repeats something, you know, says something to us, and then they'll never say it again, and they'll never even think about it again. And yet, we'll repeat it. And it's interesting because somebody had said before, I had, you know, it's one of those things that you hear, but like the word resent. I think, I don't remember the exact Latin or French it is for scent, but zente or something like that, you know. So zent means to feel, you know, the resente, you know, the second part means to feel, and means to refeel. So basically what to resent something or somebody is that we have a feeling that happens when they do that. And then they did it once and don't even realize it and walk away. And then we re-abuse ourselves after that. We are the ones then that carry that forward. So to resent means to re-feel. And so that's just kind of what I was thinking about. It's like, you know, the first time somebody says something negative or something like that and doesn't, you know, that's on them. But I was told that anytime I have a resentment and I re-feel it, they're not doing that anymore. So that's on me. So that's what I was thinking about this morning. But I'm going to use my pretty Marseille Tarot. Because that's why we do a meditation sometimes, is just to have these inner dialogues sometimes. You know, because the small little inner dialogues like that can be important in understanding why we are feeling or why we are re-feeling. I know, silly, right? So, welcome to the MyTarot morning reflection. Apparently, welcome to the MyTarot therapy session. But this is where we get to check in with the universe, see if we have any angers or resentments, see if there's anything that, you know, we should, you know, might want to take a look at during the day, see if there's, as I say, any tips or tricks, because by looking at this in the morning, you know, if somebody says something later on that would normally cause a resentment or normally would, you know, get under our skin, if we think about how we are this morning, then if somebody says something, it's like, I already thought about this. I've already dealt with it. And we can just take a breath and walk away. So, here I am. Reminding us all to take that breath, feet flat on the floor, butt doing the kitty dance. That feels good. Oh, man. And then rolling our shoulders. Taking that breath and checking in with the neck. And hitting that light switch that says, now let's check in with the universe. So, what do we have today? I have to say, at no point does this not get exciting for me. I really always love to see that, particularly to see what that first card's going to be. Because it's always interesting. It's like, oh, I had not even thought about that today. So, I'm going to do what then? I'm going to make our 3 stacks. Each one a different thread going out to the universe. It's like each one's a different thought or idea. And if we believe in the multiverse, it's like each one of these is a different path. Because this stack will lead down one conversation. This conversation is a totally different path from this one. So, today let's take the top one, or what I like to think of as things that are right in front of us, and we don't even realize it. So I'm going to do our 3 in 1. And flipping each card over one at a time, like we're reading the pages of a book. And here's that exciting first card, which is the 2 of Cups. So that's what I'm talking about. It's like having that feel-good moment. You know, sharing with somebody else. You know, it makes it, you know, sharing about the cards and all kind of made me laugh. Because it is a sharing moment. And so with cups, cups are our spirituality, our emotions, our feelings. It is about sharing and about giving and about receiving. It's the element of water, which has a natural flow to it. So when we have the 2 of Cups, it's about balance. You know, it's about choices, but it's also about coming together with another cup. And having that natural watery flow between 2 people. And then we have the Chariot. So this is interesting because this is why, and I'll be teaching a class this weekend, this is why we want to focus on what the cards say and not what the books say. So here we have our major. This is a Chariot. So the Charioteer, this is about our willpower. This is about making a decision and then making that decision happen. And as we see with the Charioteer, here he is. Does he have reins? No. But he's got these 2 horses. This horse's feet are pointed in one direction. This horse's feet are pulled in another. And yet these horses, just on his willpower alone without reins, are going to follow the direction that he wants. You can see where he's staring. And they're going to go in that direction. So when we see the Chariot, this is about our self-will that says, I'm going to do something. I'm going to make it happen. And so, with the tarot, though, no card is all good or all bad. So there's appropriate use of self-will, and there's inappropriate use of self-will. So here we have the coming together, this positive feeling when we are sharing like we are doing right now. And the Two of Cups is about sharing. And it can give us resolve to move forward, but we want to see what this next card is. And that's what I was talking about. So we can start, we have this conversation going on here. And sometimes we still make a decision, a choice. You know, it's important to have the conversations, but where we go with it. So with the Five of Swords, swords are the element of air. Swords are our thoughts, our ideas, and sometimes our anxieties. And when we have one sword, that's a thought. When we have two swords, again, we have choices and balances. Four swords like four legs on a table. And then, to get to five swords, something throws a wrench in there. It could be just a resentment. It's like, here we have this positive thing going on, and we make our determination, and we're gonna do it. We've gotten our support, we've gotten everything else, and that's the Four of Swords, because we've gotten our support from people and friends. But this is where we need to remember to gird our loins, to be prepared, because sometimes something throws a wrench into the system. And that's the Five of Swords. And it's something that, we can start out as a cycle where we start off here, where we're with the Five of Swords, and then we meet with our friends, we talk about it, do like we're doing here, and we make the determination, and we think, I'm just going to self-will this. Well, if I think about it, and if we think about it, self-willing something is from the neck up. It's not the most spiritual card. Sometimes that's what we need. I need to get a project done. I need to get this thinking done, and I'm going to use this self. But here, we move from that feeling, that sharing, to the neck up. And sometimes something throws a wrench in there, and our self-will just goes off course. And this can cause resentments. This can cause anger. This can cause, just because we share, it's still only 2. It's not like we're up to like 6. So what do we want to do about that? Even though we're sharing, we still want to move through a cycle. And we need to go from the neck up downwards. So let's take a look at the advice card for a second. And it is the Seven of Wands. Or like I call it, the herding cats card. Wands are our fire, our energy, and our creativity. Wands are our actions, and sevens are about potential, drive, and ambition. So this is one of those days where we think about, look at how many different elements are in this spread. This affects our spirituality. This affects our mental, our thoughts, our ideas. Wands are our passion, our drive, and our energy. And so with this spread, it's reminding us that we're sharing here, but what do we want to do about it? It's about what we do when we decide, I'm going to self-will this. So I'll just use the stupid, simple example again of how I felt, when somebody said about this card. I can hold on to that resentment, say I'm going to use this card, and still feel bad. And the minor cards are just day-to-day cards again. It's just that feeling that we have right now that we sometimes need to push through. But at the center of everything is our self-will. This isn't like the Hanged Man, which is about acceptance. This isn't Temperance, which is another water card about finding balance. This is saying, I'm going to think my way out of a wet paper bag. And that's what we do when we are doing the Seven of Wands. We are, trying to move forward. We're trying to get progress. This is the one where Pamela Coleman Smith and the Rider-Waite Smith, the guy's standing on a rock. He's got his wand and he's lining up the other 6 and doesn't even have time to put on his other shoes. And as Maureen says, it's a day of trying not to quibble with my husband. Yeah. We start out sharing, and sometimes, it's my way or the highway, or we let things just, whatever it is today, that knocks us off our mental balance. And what I always say about the tarot is not fortune telling. Tarot is about understanding the cards today so we will know how to react tomorrow, which is not fortune telling. It's about analyzing where we are. So today it's about what are those things when we come together that we find that support, and yet it's so precarious. All it takes is one word from our husband, or it takes one person to say, ooh, that's an ugly deck. And then my intuition then is blown out the water. So today, it's just about recognizing, we can't always change it, but at least we can recognize when we are letting ourselves do, instead of checking in with our water, our center area here, the spirituality, emotions, it's just takes one little thing, one little comment, and they can just blow us out of our water. And then we try and force and self-will our way through the day, and it just doesn't seem to work. So today it's about realizing sometimes just self-willing ourselves is not enough. Sometimes it's about recognizing our patterns and then maybe coming back to the Two of Cups again. So with that, though, have an amazing day. Avoid the resentments. Try and find that positive. And if we find ourselves again, my way or the highway, just remember that's our use of self-will, saying this is going to happen. And then when it doesn't, we know how we feel. Take care, everybody. Thank you very much, and have that amazing, amazing day.
Stars in the sky, cards in my hand, searching for signs, lost in the sand. Whispers of fate, echoes of dreams in the dark slate. Nothing's as it seems. Flip the card.